After my friend Andy Brady finished shortening the fuses and things on his hand grenades, and a hand grenade was known as an M26HE, high explosive hand grenade. And if John Wayne ever pulled a pin on a hand grenade, he also pulled his teeth out at the same time. They were in there. You had to pull them out with your, and then throw it. And they were, anyway. We went on the rest of the day, and it was a day or two after that where Andy was wounded. He got a head wound and such. And as I remember, he was an E4 at the time, corporal. About 2 or 3 weeks after that, I have a hard time remembering time frames on this, but it wasn't long after that we combined with operational forces with the South Koreans, had their Marine Corps there also. The South Korean Marine Corps was a few kilometers, headquartered a few kilometers away from us. And we got with them. The Australia had troops there also, but mainly we had 2 Australian dog handlers, as they were called. They had German Shepherds in our unit, and one had a German Shepherd, one had a pit bull. And we went out on this big operation to sweep through an area. It was maybe a mile and a half left to right, and we were all pretty much on line sweeping through this area. And that's where we came up, the only time that I'm aware of that we came across the actual NVA, North Vietnamese Regular Army. And they didn't, the Viet Cong would hit and run, and which is kind of what they did. But the NVA Army did not hit. They stayed and fought, and it was an all-day affair before they withdrew. And as I remember, I may be inaccurate on this. I don't think I am though. But we came across Quebec Company 2-6 of the North Vietnamese Regular Army. After they withdrew and we accomplished our mission of sweeping through the area. They never told me. I was a E3 at the time. I carried the radio. I was a radio man. But they never came and told us what our mission was or anything. They just said, move forward and take charge. So I don't really know what our mission was on that, other than to sweep through the area and clear it of enemy forces, in which we did. It was about a month maybe after that. Orders came down for me to gather up my belongings, and I was being transferred out of that particular unit. That particular unit was CAP. CAP stood for Combined Action Platoon. CAP 243, which is 2nd Company, 4th Platoon, 3rd Squad, 243, and that was my unit. And when word came down for me I was being transferred from there to our what we called the CACO area, our area. It was about the size of a football field, kind of rectangleish, and the CACO stood for Combined Action Command Organization or something, I don't know. And that's where we operated out of. And it was right on the Hoi An River, just maybe 2 miles or kilometers south of Hoi An itself, off of Highway 1, which is still there today. Highway 1 is. It's the main highway that ran north and south up through Da Nang and Quang Tri and other places like that. Then down to Saigon. It'll always be Saigon to me, not Ho Chi Minh City, as they renamed it. At any rate, once there, and I never found out until about 3 months ago when I was got up with a friend of mine that I served with in Vietnam about why I got transferred. But I got there and they gave me my choice of working in the armory, cleaning weapons and learning about them, or working in supply, and which is deuce gear and things like that. Deuce gear, by the way, I don't mean to confuse anybody, is your canteens, web belts, helmets, kind of beans, bullets, bandages stuff, just supply. And it was called deuce gear because on your requisition forms, it was known as 782. That was its federal number, FSN number, 782. And the last number being 2, everybody just called it deuce gear. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what we called it, deuce gear. Anyway, I knew I didn't want to move boxes around all day long and such and sweep the floor. So I worked in the armory, and that's where I spent the rest of my time. Issuing weaponry to the different units. We have 7 or 8 cap units besides mine. I was in 243, and there was like 241, 242, 243, 244, 256. There was 7 or 8 different companies, and we took care of them all. And out of the 2nd CAG, and I issued their weaponry. Years later, which is now, it was like 2 or 3 months ago, I noticed in the VFW magazine that there was a reunion for 2nd CAG people. I called them, and I'd have loved to go, but and I can't attend this year, maybe next year. But I got a hold of a friend of mine that I served with in the field. His name is Joseph Quartz, Kortz. Anyway, that's his name. And I managed to get a hold of him and me and such. And we were just talking about it. And I said, by the way, Joe, all these years, I don't know why I was pulled out of the unit and put in, pulled out of the field itself. And he told me, he says, because my glasses were too thick. He said that we worried that you couldn't see in the rain, in the dark, when your glasses get fogged up, or worse, if you lost your glasses in a skirmish, and it would endanger not only yourself but all the rest of us, because there was only in our unit in a platoon, in a Marine Corps squad, there's 15 men, and but in ours we averaged 9 or 10, because somebody was always getting injured or killed or something, or rotating back to the States. We never were up to full strength, so we all depended on each other heavily. And they got to looking at my glasses I was wearing at the time, and they said, no, you need to work at the CACO, not here in the field. We're worried about your eyesight. So it wasn't anything that I'd done wrong, but so I was transferred out.